It's just after 8 AM on the 21st of December. The sun's first glimpses on this winter solstice, hidden by a heavy sky on the shortest day of the year. Not the most popular season for outdoor activities in the UK, this winter ride was born more out of chance than choice. We'd planned on watching the sunrise, but it didn't even make an appearance under the thick curtain of cloud. The plan? To ride the West Kernow Way, a 250km bike route that would allow us to explore parts of Cornwall that we'd never been to before. I'm Tom, and this is Fiona, and we both grew up around Porthleven, a small fishing village situated at one of the most southerly spots on this loop. With the idea of staying in pubs along the route with no fixed plans, we could pack light and spend as many hours pedalling as the daylight allowed. This ride was going to be a great opportunity to experience home from a bike, hopefully seeing some new things along the way. Leaving Porthleven, we head anti-clockwise across Mounts Bay to Penzance, then through West Penwith, passing Land's End, the Tinners Way and the Penwith Moors. From the tin mining ruins of Camborne, we cut to the north coast, then back south through the Helford estuary, returning along the Lizard Peninsula to Porthleven.
The West Kernow Way, here we go!
It wasn't long into the ride before we realised the pace was going to be extra slow. Any previous estimates as to how long the ride might take were increasing by the hour. The puddles became rivers and the sealed roads were always covered in mud. But while the amenities were basic and the resupply points were non-existent, there were plenty of distractions along the way.
It's time for a pasty.
The Cornish pasty is the finest winter bikepacking food in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Warm and packed with calories and sturdy enough to survive a tumble in your frame bag.
Everything in there,
Stuffed with cheese, potatoes, swede and onion. A golden hand-crimped pocket of pure joy. We decided to eat ours in the windiest place we could find, but then there was wind everywhere. We had to lean into the wind to ride the rocky road to St Michael's Mount. The tailwinds loaded sand into our drivetrains as we approached Penzance, but the self-service car wash came in really handy. Avoiding the rain in Penzance with a pint of Cornish ale, our first shelter for the night with Fiona's sister, a place that would allow us to dry our shoes out as we pray for clear skies in the morning. We woke to a cold sunny morning and headed off with damp feet across Penzance Promenade into Penwith. Passing through small villages and visiting standing stones used as navigation by travellers before the advent of roads. Around every corner, winter moments remind me of a land I feel so familiar in. This is by no means a direct route. In fact, it probably follows the most indirect course that you could imagine. The road signs can read the same distance for an hour as you meander through roads that look like they haven't been used in years. To be honest, we were riding in empty fields more often than having to deal with any vehicles. You only really see signs of cars in towns and villages.
I needed that.
The old co-op, brie and cranberry.
Sandwich.
Once again, we saw very little sign of food. But we'd made it to St Just, and with Cape Cornwall just a few kilometres down the road, we could enjoy the rugged beauty of West Cornwall with a tube of Pringles and a couple of road beers. If for whatever reason you do find yourself tempted to follow in our footsteps, I would advise on finding your accommodation before relaxing for the evening. A Cornish pub with an open fire after a day on a bike can easily keep you longer than intended. After a couple of ales next to the fire, we were left with a frantic search for food and accommodation.
I don't want to sleep in a bus stop or a phone box.
We secured a bed in the local inn and Chinese food at the only place still serving. Our dinner plans scuppered once more by the short hours of the winter season.
Satay, walking.
The mine stacks of West Penwith stand as towering relics of Cornwall's tin and copper mining past, once bustling with industry but now left to the wind and waves. Familiar landmarks that could only be Cornwall, a reminder of the generations who called this place home long before we did. If there was an option for a muddy path, you could bet we'd be going down it, and the Tinners' Way was just that, an ancient route once trodden by Cornish tin miners, transporting their haul to the coast. The ancient standing stones emerge from the mist like something out of a myth.
If you crawl through the hole, you get pregnant.
This Bronze Age monument has long been linked to folklore and healing rituals, and they're a lot smaller than we both remember. Cornwall in winter is saturated with mizzle, the air thick with damp that soaks through the layers and clings to the skin. By now things were getting pretty wet. I put my camera away to avoid the rain and clear some miles, as we had another night in Penzance before heading north to Cambourne.
It's really lacking the tyres, you know.
The trails turned to deep, claggy mud, coating our bikes, our clothes and any hope of staying dry. So where are we?
I have no idea.
Where are we going to stay tonight?
Who knows? You know, that's just the excitement of it all, isn't it?
With our daily debrief complete, we followed muddy trail after muddy trail through soggy farmland. It's not as deep as I thought.
Ugh, everything is covered in shit.
Stopping for another supermarket sandwich along the way. Rising past the ruins of the Great Flat Lode, once one of Cornwall's most productive tin mines, and up Cambourne Hill, following the path where steam engines and miners once shaped history. One of West Cornwall's highest points, the land unfolds in every direction. The whole of West Cornwall stretching out before us, unaware that behind us Fiona's tyre is slowly deflating, a hidden thorn quietly undoing our progress. Fiona's cheap patch kit had failed 3 times. The short day had crept up on us though.
I think we've done it 3 times. That fawn has got me.
And to avoid too much riding in the dark, we put our heads down and cut across to Penryn, where we knew a good inn with a great breakfast. Leaving from Penryn on our final day and heading towards the Lizard Peninsula, we find ourselves on another unlikely pathway, connecting roads through shortcuts that didn't need to be taken. But this ride wasn't about covering distances. It was about exploring new parts of a place we knew so well. And we savoured the last few hours in the saddle as we embraced the shelter of the South Coast creeks. Riding home across the cliff to Porthleven marks the end of our journey. A blend of fading light and deep dark clouds that feel both unique and unmistakably like home. This ride was a great reminder that you don't need to travel far from home to chase adventure. Just having a little lie down.
I just got a bit tired.
The road home always feels different after a journey. The same bends and the same cliffs, but seen with new eyes. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be ending up anywhere else. You don't need to go far from home to find adventure, just far enough to see it in a new way. And maybe in the end, it's the people beside you that turn an adventure into home.